This is gonna be our opening, guys. Probably just karate chops my shoulders.
Can you guess what theme song I'm playing? Do 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 do. Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of On a Couch Talking Sports. As always, I'm Robbie. This is Kyle. How you doing, buddy?
Not too bad of you.
Doing well. I know it's been a while. We just realized it's been a little over a month since we did our last episode, so we've missed a bit. But how was your July 4th? I know it's a couple weeks later, but
yeah, it was pretty good. Pretty chill.
Hey, everybody, chill.
Yeah,
it was chill.
It was a cool party.
But we hope everybody had a great 4th of July, as we have now entered into and are now past the midway point of the good old month of July. And we are back with another episode. Very excited to be back, and very excited, as always, to be joined by our two sponsors, as always, Zyman Organizing and Wes Woodson. So thank you very much to them, as always. And so we're going to keep it nice and simple tonight, folks. We're not gonna go too deep into anything tonight. We're just going to do a very simple Robbie's Thought and Sue's Reviews episode for you tonight, because I actually have a thought. I mean, I have many thoughts. Yeah, I have one single thought. That's all that my brain can handle on a daily basis, is one thought.
I can barely handle a single thought myself, so good for you, Robbie.
But obviously, since the last time we talked to you guys, I'm just going to go ahead with my thought first without even asking you if it's okay. No, I'm just kidding. Since we last talked to you guys, obviously, one of the big to-dos in this country, at least, has been the World Cup, which has been going on the last several weeks. Here in the U.S., as well as Canada and Mexico, sort of the three co-hosts for this year's World Cup, and it has been really awesome to watch. I gotta say, someone who's not the biggest soccer fan, just in general, like, to watch the World Cup, like, especially, obviously we live in Massachusetts, and Boston, aka Foxborough, is one of the host cities, sites for this year's World Cup. And so to see, like, the games and the excitement at Gillette Stadium, aka for the World Cup, Boston Stadium, and just around the country, as well as into Canada and to Mexico, to see the excitement for it has been amazing. And obviously there was a lot of excitement around the U.S. team themselves, who, they made it to the round of 16. Unfortunately, them losing to Belgium in the round of 16. So, still was a really fun run. Really got the country sort of, it felt like pulled together behind that team. During each of their games, like, just to see the crowds on TV, like, because they all their home games were in the U.S. Usually out on the West Coast, and just so to see them, like, just to see the way the crowds just were electric for all those games was something that I just thought was really cool. And obviously, the games at Gillette Stadium were awesome. And also just to see, like, the fans from out of the U.S., like, come into the U.S. and just, like, get a taste of, like, our country, our culture. And I think it surprised a lot of them, like, how, like, actually kind, decent people we are, if you really get to know us. And I just thought it was wild. I mean, you and I have talked about this a few times over the weeks, like, to see, like, particularly the fans from Scotland and Norway, how they, like, kind of came into the Boston area, because a lot of their games were, like, in the Boston area, and made the city, like, their own. And, like, you would see them, like, doing some of, like, their, they, like, went to, like, Red Sox games, and I was at a Red Sox game when Norway was in town, and, like, their fans were doing, like, their little row celebration, like in the stands of Fenway Park, which was really cool. It just everything about it was just really awesome, and I'm really glad, that we had the opportunity to like have it be in our own backyard this time around. The final, for those who don't know, is going to be taking place on Sunday afternoon in New York, or New Jersey, I guess I should technically say, because the stadium's technically in New Jersey. MetLife Stadium. It'll be Argentina looking to repeat as World Cup champions, taking on Spain. Personally, my prediction is I think Argentina is going to ultimately take it and get that repeat. I think it's gonna be an exciting game, but I think Argentina ultimately is going to take it home. But I did want to just I wanted to bring you just a little bit here into my final thought, if you would. Okay. Obviously, I know you like me are not the biggest like soccer guy, but like I just wanted to know, like, just from what you've seen her, just even just like on the news around, so I know like the World Cup, just like what your reaction to like having in the U.S. and just all that you sort of saw, all if anything that you saw about it, just what your sort of thoughts on it were from the last few weeks.
So it's been fascinating because I've heard I've heard actually really positive stories of, like, I even had like friends of mine who have gone out in the city and they've actually, like, they met people from Scotland, and the people from Scotland especially, I know when they were, around, like, were just like, they were just so nice and very welcoming as well, and it was just nice.
Definitely the partiers. Yes. They definitely like the party.
That was the funniest story. Like, I think it made news articles where it was like, yep, the Boston bars have run out of beer again.
Literally.
All beer is gone.
They drank the city of Boston dry. And also, for some reason, they put traffic cones, like, all around the city. I don't know what that deal was. They put, like, just traffic cones. Like, they were stacking traffic cones around the city. I don't know. I don't know what the significance is, but yeah, it's just something that they were doing while they were here too. So yeah,
that's pretty funny. But no, it's been very positive. Even my the families at my school, one of the families, actually, they're rooting for the French team. They actually picked up their student from my class early so that they can watch the game. That's how, like, much into it they are. And funniest, I gotta tell you guys this funny story. You guys are gonna love this. Actually, I haven't even told you the story, Robbie.
I can't wait to hear
it. So I was talking to this girl, and she actually does speak French. It's pretty cool. So the student in my class speaks French and everything, and we were talking, and she wanted me to help her write, okay, go France. France is the winner. And I'm like, and she was like, yeah, are you going to cheer for France? I'm like, well, I prefer the Canadian team myself. And she was like, Kyle, Canada doesn't have a team. And I was like, okay. She's like, why don't you cheer for, like, she was giving me such a hard time. She's like, why don't you cheer for France, Kyle? Canada doesn't even have a team. I'm like, whoa, okay.
I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but Canada does have a team. They actually, like, the U.S. made it to I think they made it to the round of 16 as well. And then they lost, so
but not in her continuity.
No,
Robbie.
in her mind, Canada doesn't even exist in this girl's mind. Canada's a fake country in this girl's mind.
She was so visibly disappointed. It was the funniest thing. Oh my god, I was like cracking up. But like, all right, whatever.
I just think it's funny that you like get that upset when, like, Canada's about as close to France as you, like, in just terms of, like, especially Quebec. I mean, Quebec is like, French is like, other than English, like, their other, like, main language, like, there.
True, but they got a bit of a rivalry, There's French from France versus French from Canada. It's a little bit of a different vibe when you look at the two. So I can kind of see where it is a little. I'm not super surprised that someone from France would say that about Canada.
I'm sorry if anybody from France or from Canada is upset with me for saying that, comparing the two. You know what? you need to soften up a little bit. Anyway, but do you have anything else? I'm sorry, guys.
No, I was just saying it's a very positive experience, and I'm actually gonna try to go watch one of the games even tomorrow. So, who's playing tomorrow?
So tomorrow, so it's interesting. I didn't realize this until it was really, but they actually have a consolation game in the World Cup as well as the championship game. So
nice.
Tomorrow is the consolation game between France and England.
Okay, I had a feeling because I know they both lost recently.
Yeah, France and England are playing the consolation game tomorrow.
Cool.
In, I want to say like Miami or something like that. I forget exactly where that game is, but I know that Sunday, as I was saying, is the Spain-Argentina championship game in at New York, New Jersey Stadium. So
cool.
So yeah, but just very. It's been a fun summer so far with like World Cup action. So I just wanted to get that because I don't think we've actually done episodes since before the World Cup even started. So
good point.
We kind of glazed right through that in the time that we were not on. So but yeah, so now I want to, speaking of reviewing things and stuff like that, I want to turn over to Kyle for another, I'm sure, riveting edition of the Sue's Review. So take it away, my friend.
All right, so I'm just going to kind of recap I had this really epic double feature, if you will, that I did this past Saturday. And I actually did a very strange way to start the day. I started in the morning, like around 10:20. I started the day by watching Evil Dead Burn. Okay, it's like,
sure,
okay, wait,
let's go with that. Yeah.
It's the only way to wake you up. And then later that night, I ended up watching Supergirl. So yeah, I'm just gonna talk about those two movies for a little bit, and yeah, so. I guess I'll just start with Evil Dead because that was the first movie I saw, and I gotta say it was a really, really good entry in the franchise. I was a little worried because sometimes when they drag a franchise on for a while, I get a little weary about some of the later sequels in the in the whole universe and everything. And no, this one actually, it was very solid. It had a bit of a French twist to it, actually. Speaking of France, because the director was French, and actually the main actress was French as well. And the character even spoke French in the movie. I'm pretty sure she's French in real life. I have to kind of look up the whole IMDb. It was just basically about this woman who, just bad things. Like, I don't want to get into too much spoilers. I'll get into some light spoilers. So basically, she has issues with her husband. They both own a nightclub. And the husband ends up driving off because they get into an argument. And the husband's drunk. And then he gets in a bit of a car crash. And that's kind of what sets the whole movie off from there. All those events. And so you'll kind of see how it plays out. And you'll end up, and you pretty much, and without spoiling too much either, you'll know exactly why he gets into a car crash. And so the movie is very much it's very much a family drama, but in the context of a horror movie. So you get that sort of like really strange dynamic with like, the main character, and like it's just basically her staying with the in-laws, and you find out why she's staying with them. There's a whole thing with that, and basically the whole movie is really her relationship with them and how it's just very complicated, and like you kind of see how it all plays out, but then while that's all going on, they stumble upon, once again, the Book of the Dead, the Necronomicon, as they do in every Evil Dead movie. And of course, someone always recites words that they shouldn't be reciting. So what happens? Yes, freaking spirits from hell, start breaking through the house and everything, and they start possessing members of the family one by one. So that's kind of the whole. It's very similar to the other movies. If you've seen the other Evil Dead movies, whether it's the newer ones or the older ones with Bruce Campbell, it's what you expect. But at the same time, though, it doesn't feel formulaic. It like this one still in a way feels fresh. It's very violent, though. I will say, if you're very squeamish, do not watch this movie. I went to one of the times I saw this movie. Yes, I said one of the times I saw it twice with two different groups of people. I really liked it. I thought it was cool, but one of the screenings I had, just random fact, had a group of kids. I'm talking like kids aged from like 8 to probably like 12 or whatever. And I'm like, I was even like, oh my God, like, what are you, do you guys need therapy like after this movie? Because the movie is rough. The movie does not pull any punches. People die in horrific ways in this movie. So if you're okay with that, then I would highly recommend it. It's actually got a really solid story, and the characters are very interesting. But if you're squeamish, then definitely don't watch this movie, guys. Like don't bring your kids to this movie. Why are people bringing their kids to this movie? This is gonna scar them. I even heard there was like a girl like right above me that was like, I'm really scared of the scene like towards the beginning, and I'm thinking, oh my God, she's got the rest of the freaking movie. She's got the rest of the hour and a half of like craziness that's gonna like destroy her brain. I'm like, oh my God, I felt so bad for that kid for just, oh my God. But listen, it's a great movie, but just be warned, it is very violent, just like, the earlier entries as well. So it's like, you kind of got to understand what you're about to experience in these movies. But you know what? It's a lot of fun. It is over the top, so there is plenty of over the top stuff there, but it's a hard R, so just be warned. And then, Evil Dead Burn, highly recommend. One of my favorite movies of the summer. So yeah, that and Mortal Kombat, I think, are Mortal Kombat 2, I should say. That and Mortal Kombat 2, two favorite movies of the summer. I'll get to Mortal Kombat 2 at some point. But moving on to Supergirl. Supergirl was a pretty good movie. Not a great movie, not a terrible movie. A lot of actually reviewers have been lambasting this movie. I thought it was fine. I thought it was a solid, like, maybe 6 or 7 out of 10. Like, I thought the main actress was good. 6, 7 out of... Yeah, I know what you're doing.
Sorry. Couldn't help it.
Listen, we work with students all day, so of course we gotta get these references out of the way. It was a very interesting movie in that, like, it felt very different than Superman. So the Superman movie, which I think I reviewed last year when it came out, was much more colorful, much more hopeful. Supergirl kind of is a very different movie. It's not on Earth. It's actually, a lot of it's in space. So it kind of feels a little bit like a Guardians of the Galaxy meets like Serenity or Firefly type of movie. So it's like you got more space travel in this movie. But you still get to see some cool superhero action because it's Supergirl. So but it's much darker. It's kind of a bit grimier, and I think that kind of threw a lot of people off. I personally didn't mind it. I just thought the story was, it was kind of, there was a lot going on in the story, and I had a hard time kind of grasping it at times, and there were a few times it was just a little hard to follow, because I think a lot was happening, and it really kind of goes into the sort of the space comic book vibe. So, I think it's just one of those things where I think for some people, especially really diehard comic book fans like me, I love the whole Superman, Supergirl universe. I enjoyed it, but I can see why other people might not enjoy it as much. Like, it's very like spacebound. It has like a bit of a Star Trek feel at times, but I thought the actress, like I said, I thought the actress, her name is Millie Alcock. She was from Game of Thrones, the House of the Dragon series. And I thought she did a really good job as Supergirl. I thought she was amazing. And she plays a much different character than Superman. Superman's much more hopeful. Supergirl is, well, she does actually end up killing people. Superman never kills. But Supergirl, she's a different type of character. So, like, when she is like a good guy still, but like she does have a very different sort of version of justice that Superman has. And the movie did a great job outlining that. And I thought some of the best parts of the movie were the flashback scenes on Krypton, where you actually get to see it, because in Superman, they never show all that. They just show Superman on Earth. in this, and you don't really see much of his origin, but in this one they actually show Supergirl's origin, and those are some of the most interesting parts, I thought. So that was really cool. And light spoiler, I will say a light spoiler. So if you haven't seen the movie, I say go watch it now, see what you think. Come back later. Are we still here? Okay, good. Light spoiler, Superman is in the movie. Not for very long, but he is in the movie. So it is really cool that you actually get to have a full feature-length movie where Supergirl and Superman are, like, share the screen. They share the big screen. Like, that was supposed to happen back in the 80s with Helen Slater. She was supposed to have, her solo Supergirl movie was supposed to have Christopher Reeve Superman in it, but he just denied. He didn't want to do it, so we never got that sort of pairing. But it was nice to see David Cornsweet reprise his role as Superman. So I thought that was cool. Honestly, the actress that stole the show. So there's actually a really quick. There's a young kid in the movie, and she's kind of going on a bit of a revenge plot. She has kind of her own revenge story going on, and I thought she actually personally stole the show. I was amazed. I was like, whoa. This kid was from the show, I think it was Three Body Problem. It's like a sci-fi show on Netflix. She was really good in this movie. I was really surprised. I was like, damn, okay. And Jason Momoa as Lobo, he's like this like sort of space bounty hunter on like a motorcycle. And, a lot of you know him as Aquaman in the older series. He comes back in this series, but he's Lobo. So he's more of a villain, anti-hero type. So he was cool. I really liked him. He also stole the show. So I think there's a lot to like about this movie, but just some certain pacing in certain areas, you just kind of like, wait, what's going on? I think it gets a little confusing at times, but you know what? Otherwise, I enjoyed the movie. So I still recommend you guys should check it out, especially in the big screen. So definitely check out Supergirl, and definitely 100% check out Evil Dead Burn if you are a horror movie fan. So there you go.
Which I'm not, so I won't be.
Yeah, no, you would hate it.
No.
Robbie would hate it.
Yeah. Nope, not for me.
Yeah.
No. Well, thank you, Kyle. That sounds like a fun day of movie watching, and so
It was.
I'm glad that you enjoyed it, and I'm glad that you're able to pass it along, those reviews to our audience here. So thank you for that, and thank you to all of you for tuning in. Before we go, I do have one sort of little teaser for you folks at home, if you're ready for this. Obviously, like I said, we were off for like a good month before coming back for tonight's episode. Well, don't worry, you are not going to have to wait nearly as long, for our next episode, because next week, Kyle and I are making our annual pilgrimage down to good old Cape Cod for our Cape Trip 2026. And so we will be bringing you along with us, in a sense, with a brand new episode from the Cape next weekend. We're very much looking forward to it, and we have a lot of fun activities planned, and like I said, we will definitely recap a bunch of it for you guys on our next episode coming up in probably just a week's time or so. So we're very much looking forward to this, Kyle, as we always do, and can't wait for that episode. So I just want to throw a quick little teaser in there for the folks at home.
Yep, we're going to the Cape.
Yeah. She sold seashells by the seashore. But anyway, listen, thank you folks for tuning in to another episode of On a Couch. Thank you to our two sponsors, as always, Diamond Organizing and Wes Woodson. Very much appreciated, as always. Hey, listen, please, if you like this video, give us a like, subscribe, ring the bell, tell your friends. You can find us here on YouTube. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. So please, we would love to have your support, as always, just like we appreciate it for tonight's episode. So that is going to do it for tonight's episode of On a Couch Talking Sports. I lean in for the closer here. That was going to do it for today's episode of On a Couch Talking Sports. As always, he's Kyle, I'm Robbie, and we're signing off from the couch until next time. Bye, everybody.
I'm leaning back.
Lean back.